Sakyaras is his friendship with the Lord, when one is forgetting that the Lord is the Supreme Personality of God. And also Vatsalya, one can have a loving relationship in a parental mood, that one is viewing the Lord as one's subordinate son. And then you have the conjugal, the loving affairs of the gopis with Krishna. This is possible only in the Gokul section of the spiritual world. And Gokul is then also divided into three. It's Gokul itself, and then it's Mathura, and then it's Dwarka. So the one reverence is higher in Dwarka, it's a little less one reverence in Mathura, and then the one reverence is not there in Gokul. In that way, Krishna has created the whole world and he is controlling the whole world. Svabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. He is controlling the world by his power, Bala, by his jnana, by his knowledge, and active potency. Krishna's energies are all over, but in the material world they are covered by material energy for the conditioned soul, so that we think that the material nature is the hetu, that we think the material nature is the cause. We need to have this energy covering our transcendental vision if we want to be independent from the Lord. So that's why the material nature is covering the living entity, because the living entity wants it. We want slight independence from the Lord, then we have to be covered by material energy, because slight independence means that we are not attracted to the Lord. If we see the Lord, if we are attracted to the Lord, then we don't want to be independent from the Lord at all. Then we want to be with the Lord. So the material nature has to be there to fool us, so that we think that maybe it is actually just created by itself. Maybe there is no God in control. Like this, that kind of loss of intelligence of the living entity has to be there for the living entity to be in the material world. We have it. Our intelligence has come down from the transcendental stage to the material stage, where there is dualities. That's why it said, Achintya Kali Bhavan Not Tams Tarkyana Yoja. We cannot understand the Lord by our tarka, by our logical considerations. We have to come above the level of logic and any kind of dualistic consideration. Actually, the only way we can actually understand the Lord is by absolute statements from the Vedas. It's no other way actually we can accept the Lord. That's why the demigods are correctly saying we cannot understand their actual position. But peculiar enough, in the next verse, the demigods are answering this question. They're saying, O Supreme Personality of God, all contradictions can be reconciled in you. O Lord, since you are the Supreme Person, the Reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities, the Supreme Controller, your unlimited words are inconceivable to the conditioned souls. Many modern theologians argue about right and wrong, without knowing what is actually right. Their arguments are always false, and their judgments inconclusive, because they have no authorized evidence with which to gain knowledge of you. So here immediately they're saying, they're questioning in the previous verse. Are you under the modes of material nature, suffering and enjoying the results of good and bad actions? And so on. But then they're answering, no, you are inconceivable. There's no contradictions in you because you're on the absolute platform. That's the meaning of this. It said it in the Sanskrit that Svarupa Dvaya Abhavat. Because Dvaya, the two different things, good and bad, Abhavat, it's an absence. Good and bad is not there in the Lord. It's all good in the Lord. He is beyond the dualities. And that is solving the whole problem, to just accept the Vedic statements, the statement of the Lord Himself, that He is beyond the dualities. You see, the duality is what creates the whole problem. And because their minds are agitated by scriptures containing false conclusions, they are unable to understand the truth concerning you. The mind which is not served the absolute conclusions of the Vedas will still be agitated, even though it's Vedic scriptures even. That's why we need to have the Vedic scriptures given to us by the pure devotee of Krishna. Otherwise there will always be agitation in the mind, even from reading the Vedic scriptures. Because they're so complicated and there is so many seemingly contradictions. That's why we have to inquire about the Siddhanta. Siddhanta Balya Chitta. Na Karyaras. Krishna Rage Sudrida Manas. We have to create a strong mind by getting the Siddhanta correctly. We have to not be lazy about understanding the absolute truth. The conclusion of the Vedas has to be there. And that Krishna is giving. Only in the highest scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, it all becomes very clear. Even if you read other Vedic scriptures, it will be unclear. That's why I said in one of the Upanishads, Mundaka Upanishad, it said that actually all the other Vedic scriptures, they're actually also in the avidya category. They're also not really giving the absolute truth, because the real pure devotional conclusion that Krishna is the supreme cause and the one to be served by all living entities, it's all pervading in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita. So there it said that by Prabhupada, he's commenting this verse is mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada mentions that the real vidya, the real knowledge, is actually only given in the highest Vedic scriptures, like Vedanta Sutra and the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam. So it's not without a very, very good cause that Prabhupada gave us just these books and he didn't give us so many others. He even says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, also Narada Muni, he says that he says Yugupshitam Dharma Kritya Shashvata. It's actually abominable, Vyasa, that he gave all these different Vedic scriptures. He says so many different things. He's describing the heavenly plans very much in detail so that people are very much attracted to enjoy heavenly delights. And it also gives so many karma kanda instructions so that people will be attracted to just do pious deeds in the material world and try to enjoy material in this life even. And then try and avoid the bad karma by so many material measures. This is not the meaning. The meaning is to awaken our real attraction for Krishna and get out of the material illusion. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, he says, actually Vyasadeva, you should not have given the other Puranas and Vedic scriptures. You should only have given the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Actually, Vyasadeva should only have given us the Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, that's Prabhupada's opinion. So that should be also our opinion, that we shouldn't be attracted to the scriptures. So, because when we get that, then everything is very clear. Jamalyasyata anvayat itartasatesh abhikyasvarat tena brahmaridaya adhikave. He is the one who gave the knowledge to Lord Brahma, the highest living being. It's beyond doubt. Krishna is the supreme personality of God. He is the only one we need to go to. Satyam Param Dhima, he is the highest truth. Therefore we meditate on Krishna. Problem is solved. Everything is reconciled in Krishna. So as the demigods are continuing, they say, furthermore, because of polluted eagerness to arrive at the right conclusion, their tears are incapable of revealing you who are transcendental to their material conceptions. You are one without a second, and therefore in your contradictions, like doing and not doing, happiness and distress are not contradictory. Your potency is so great that it can do and undo anything as you like. with the help of that potency, what is impossible for you? Since there is no duality in your constitutional position, you can do everything by the influence of your energy. So in other words, the demigods are answering their own questions. But everything what they say is also there in the other Vedic scriptures. The conclusion of all the Vedic scriptures are the same, but for a person who is not on a very, very high level of realization, the different Vedic scriptures will seem to be very contradictory. That's why the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered the 6 Goswamis to just go through all the Vedic scriptures. Now, not just how is this going in? Can you say that? No, not Shastra. Vichara, yeah. Vichara means to consider. So they were considering all the Vedic scriptures. Nana, Shastra, Vichara, Naikanya. Actually, this verse is good to read out. Let's see. Yeah. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the Vedic scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. So they were establishing the true religious principles by the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus they are honored all over 3 worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and engaged in the transcendental loving service of Sri Radha Krishna. So they are also practically they're doing the essence of the Vedic scriptures. They were writing the Jiva Goswami. He was writing the 6 Sandarbhas, where he go through all these different Vedic scriptures and brings out that Krishna is the highest tattva. Krishna is the highest goal of all of the Vedic scriptures. And he gives evidence from all the different Vedic scriptures to support that. So that we don't have to do that. And in that way, we can actually understand Krishna's actual position, but also we should understand that we cannot understand it fully. That is the meaning of the demigods saying it. Because of course, if the demigods are saying prayers like this, of course, they have some understanding, not just some, they have a great understanding of Krishna's position. But at the same time, they're very humble and they say, we cannot understand. Fully we cannot understand Krishna anymore. So that should also be our take on this, our understanding that, yes, now we know so much about Krishna, now we know Krishna is the goal, we want to go back to Krishna. But do we understand Krishna very much? No. We don't understand him very much. But we understand a little bit, and we want to understand more. That's the thing. We want to understand more and more and more about Krishna. But Krishna understanding has no end. As we hear, even Sheshanaga, he has thousands of hoods, and he is always glorifying the different qualities of Krishna, but still, he's been doing that for millions of years. Actually, he has unlimited hoods. And he is still not finished glorifying Krishna. There's always something new, some new glories of Krishna coming up that he didn't know before. Like this. So that's also our position. That's why we can understand how, as you know, Mandaprabhu was explaining yesterday. Lord Ram, he was banished to the forest, so he's in the forest for 14 years. And Mandaprabhu said actually he had a good time there because there was no. Well, he said in a humorous way that there was no management there, so. It's just trees and birds and sages and everything is very peaceful. You need to, our mind, from a materialistic viewpoint, we maybe think, isn't it boring just to be in the woods and there's no entertainment and no, it's just, seems quite, But what is a situation of a devotee? Satam prasangam mama virya samviro. Avam tirin karna rasayana kata. Tadyosha darshana bhavarga vartamani. A devotee, if he's sitting in the forest, and there's other devotees there, but what do? They just explore Krishna consciousness. They talk about Krishna. And that Krishna Katha, it's just filling up, and it's the most nectar of everything in existence. When two devotees are discussing Krishna together, it's nectar, and it's just growing nectar. Why? Because Krishna is not different from his Katha. And he's fully present when there is discussion about him. He says, Naham Prakasha. He says, sorry. It's another verse. He says, Naham Vaikunta Tishtami. I'm not present in Vaikunta. Where did you read the version? Immediately it seems another contradiction. He is present, but at the same time, he's not present. But Krishna says we just have to accept. This is the way to understand. Yoginam Ida Yeshua. Neither I am present in the hearts of the yogis. So you understand, yeah, the form is there, and of course, Krishna is definitely there, but still the full Krishna is not there, Krishna says. Completely full Krishna. Where is Krishna? He says, Tatra Tishtami Narada. He's talking to Narada. There I am present. Yatra Gayati Madbhaktaha. Where my devotees are Gayati, are singing about me. That's why we do so much singing in the Hare Krishna movement. You may think this is very sentimental or very sensual, just so much singing. All the time we're singing Hare Krishna. Singing and dancing. Why? Because Krishna says that he is there when we're singing about him. That's the only reason why we do it. And Gayatri also means, as we have the Bhagavad Gita, is also means the Gita, the song of Krishna. So the scriptures is also singing about Krishna. That's, we also sing the verses. So talking about Krishna is also singing about Krishna in that way, because devotees, they will never talk about Krishna without referring to the verses in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the devotional verses. Devotees will never talk about Krishna without referring to Shastra. It's very important. If they just talk about Krishna like that without referring to the scriptures, then it's called Sahaja. It's unauthorized, as we saw also in that verse. The verse after this, they say, always false arguments if there is no authorized evidence. So it's said, in the Bhagavad Gita that if we're discussing Krishna Katha and we don't refer to the scriptures, then it's not talking the mode of goodness. Talking the mode of goodness is also always referring to the Vedic scriptures. So the Lord is therefore to be understood from the spiritual masters with reference to the Vedic scriptures. Any comments or questions? Yeah.
You mentioned these rasas in Vaikuntha and Garuda and Vrindavan.
Yeah.
So how are the rasas in, because there's a part of the local Vrindavan, Shweta.
Yeah.
Could you explain something about the rasas then?
In Shweta.
Ja, hvad er det, han har sidst i går, ikke har det sådan en gang. There's a part of the local Vrindavan divided up as Shweta people as sidst i går, ikke?
Really, I didn't know that. Okay. Maybe you can explain. I don't have that knowledge.
Okay, maybe you can just explain something about what is the rasas with sidst i går, in a spiritual world.
That I do not know. I do not have any information about this, about Gauriya time and spiritual world actually. I should know, but I do not know. Can you explain?
I need to do something here now.
Okay, but just shortly.
Yeah, there are, it's mostly, there's of course Dasharas, but it's also Madhurya-ras, we call it the Tenmahabam is the move of Madhurya-ras.
Yeah.
So that's the move they have, Madhurya-ras. But towards Radha and Krishna. Not towards Tenmahabam as such, but towards Radha.
So that's part of Vrindavan in the spiritual world?
Yeah, there's like this divided, Rupa Vrindavan is divided. So there's a part of Rupa Vrindavan
Yeah.
They're constantly having kids. You're speaking about singing boys of the Lord.
Okay.
Constantly having kids. That's like their sense of movement.
Very sensitive.
Yeah, it's part of it.
In the Bhagavatam also?
Yeah, at least that's a Chaitanya.
Okay, so in Prabhupada's books it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So thank you, Guru. So we stop there. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Krishna Krishna Krishna